back in Western Mass? Does it feel like it's 30 years, or do you feel like you're back, you got it all figured out again?
I never had it figured out ever, so I can't say I have it figured out now. But it's good to be back. It's it's home. It's home. So it's good to be back.
Have you gone over to Pratt at all?
I have not. I have not had a chance. We've been a little busy around here, But I've talked with Coach Raymond a bunch, and those guys back there have come to practice and all that. So it's good to be in close proximity.
Where do you feel your offense is right now? Ahead of where you thought it might be?
I give our guys credit. I challenged them before we left for the summer that when we got back to training camp, we were not going to start over with install. And to their credit, they worked really, really hard to stay up on everything we had put in. So that has allowed us to move more quickly during training camp. Still in year one of a system, you're always going to be a little slower than you would several years into it. But I'm really happy. Their retention has been outstanding. There's always details that we need to refine and improve upon our execution. But the guys have done a really good job.
With the talent that you've got, have you had to make any adjustments in what you thought you might be doing?
No. Football's football at every level. I've coached high school, college, NFL, and what you coach does not change. The skills don't change. The scheme doesn't change drastically. What does change is the speed of the game. So I am impressed as heck with our skill level, and they're executing at a high level, and I'm proud of them.
Is there an offensive grouping that's a little ahead of where you thought they might be, or one that you've been really particularly pleased with?
Yeah, let me see. I know Temple's going to watch this, so I want to throw him off our trail with a different scent here. No, we're 11, 12, 13 is what I've done in the past, and we have the personnel to do all three of those groups. So we'll have some multiplicity and we'll have some flexibility.
Your quarterbacks, I know it's not yet time to pick a QB1, but can you scout them up a little? Are they all? How different are they as individuals?
They are. Well, we're all individuals, right? They all have their own personalities, their own leadership styles, and let's face it, that's the number one job of a quarterback is to lead. But they've all, again, worked really hard this offseason to develop a proficiency in the system. They are night and day ahead of where they were in the spring, and now the play calls roll off their tongue a little more easily. They're processing the information a lot more easily and more quickly, and it's been a good competition and will continue to be.
For you, when August 30th rolls around, are you upstairs or are you downstairs? Have you done both? Do you prefer one or the other?
I prefer to be upstairs, and that's where I'll be. Last year, towards the end of the year, when I took over at Utah, I called it from the field. Our bowl game, my last game at Northwestern, I called from the field. So I prefer to be upstairs. You get a better view of what's going on.
Are there advantages to being down on the field, though?
Feel the energy a little bit, the emotion of the sideline, but I trust our coaches a lot. I trust our players a lot. I'll get the feedback I need from those guys.
You talked about picking up the install. How helpful is it for Brandon to be with you last year? Obviously, he was here. He didn't do much physically in the spring, but having that previous experience with him, how helpful is that?
It's good. He understands the techniques I'm coaching, and that's the key part. I mean, we're a little different than we were at Utah, and a lot of again, I know Temple's watching this. I'm watching you, Temple. So we're exactly the same as we are at Utah. We're going to huddle all the time. We're going to be really, we're going to, move at a slower tempo. But in all seriousness, what Brandon's familiar with my coaching style. He's familiar with the emphasis we place on processing information. Some of the terminology is quite different, but I can always relate it back to, this is what we did at Utah. This is what we called it at Utah, and that helps him translate a little more quickly.
Is that the same for other guys like Zach and Donnie and guys that you've had kind of previous stops with?
Yeah, I would say, Zach and Donnie, they come in with great proficiency in the type of system. Again, there's differences. We're not going to be Northwestern's offense by any means. I learned a lot in my year at Utah, and we're a different team here than we were at Northwestern. So there'll be quite a few differences, but systematically, they have some familiarity, again, with how I coach, how I call things. So they've had a bunch to learn in the process too, but I think their familiarity with me is what has helped them.
And generally, because Temple's watching, what are the pros and cons of using motion?
Well, you know, disguise. Disguise is the big one. Create matchups is another big one. Those are the two main reasons to move people around.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't, other than like maybe just going fast?
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, some plays you want guys to be able to, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. You don't want the front necessarily changing. You don't want the coverage necessarily changing. Other times you don't care if it does change. So there's a lot from, and it starts, you know, we talk about quarterbacks. We're going to see the defense low to high, inside out. I learned that from Peyton Manning years ago. He came and talked to my quarterbacks at both Tennessee and at Northwestern. And he talked about when you see the defense, you always start low to high, inside out, right? You got to have front recognition, linebackers to the secondary. So it all starts up front with the offensive line, right? And so how will we present the picture to them? If shifting and motioning and doing all that stuff changes it too drastically, then we won't do it. So there's a lot of factors that go into it.